What's going on, Washington fans? We're back with another video. The Commanders did conclude day 11. I mean, I don't know what you want to call it. They were doing a light jog through everything today. They didn't have any type of pads on. You'll see in the clips what they had on. By the way, speaking of the clips, they are all Scott Abrahams of Scott7 News. Go check him out on X. He posts great clips. These are not my clips. So you're going to learn that most of this is Dan Quinn's presser. We're going to break that down. We're also going to break down Jalen Lane and Kane Madrano, their pressers. I'm really invested in that because I want to see how they feel that their first preseason game went, how it was to them, how they got used to things. So we're going to dive into that. But so make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button on the road to 2,000 subscribers. I cannot do it without you. Hit that notification bell as well. So let's dive into Dan Quinn's press conference. So Dan Quinn addressing the media. Today is a jog through. Obviously, it was a jog through. Quinn said the team will have a burgundy and gold game tomorrow, and we'll break that down in a second. He said they will have a burgundy and gold game tomorrow. The roster will be separated into separate teams to compete against each other. That's what the burgundy and gold game is. So basically the teams have an inter squad scrimmage tomorrow, which I'm really excited about because we haven't been getting active, and we had a lot of days without pads. Yesterday was without pads. Today is no pads whatsoever. We just had a lot of days without pads, whereas teams like the Steelers have had more days with pads. But we're not going to overreact about that, okay? Because Dan Quinn's a great coach. He knows what he's doing, okay? Dan Quinn also shared a Laramie Tunsil update. I told you guys yesterday that Tunsil was hurt. Some of you didn't believe me. He is. Here's what Dan Quinn said. He said Laramie Tunsil had to exit practice yesterday. He said, Dan Quinn said he'll work today in a jog through because the injury is not serious. And if you're just going to jog, you can probably still do it since the injury is not serious. He said, and then likely will participate Tuesday when they have the inter-squad scrimmage, the burgundy and gold game. They're dividing the team up into two groups. So good to hear Laramie Tunsil. I think he's fine, but he did, just something to note, he did get, injured yesterday. But he will compete seemingly tomorrow in the burgundy and gold inter-squad game, inter-squad scrimmage. So Dan Quinn also talked about the release of Dominique Hampton this morning. Dan Quinn said, if it's not going to fit, we'd rather give him a chance to go somewhere else. Basically, he didn't work out. He's not living up to the standards, and we need to cut him. That's what he meant. He's not, he's a nice guy, Dan Quinn is, but he's not, go give him a chance somewhere else. Like, no, Dan Quinn just wanted him off the roster, which is very understandable. If you didn't know, Dominique Hampton was cut today. Obviously, last year's draft pick in the 6th round. Probably Adam Peters' first miss, whatever you want to call it, but we're not too worried about that, right? Quinn also said there's concern about the offensive line meshing because of some of the injuries. Coleman's still out and no Cosme yet. He said it can be the non-verbal cues that result from working together a while and having good cohesion. So he also added that throughout the season, pretty much every O-line endures injuries, so it's good to get used to other guys. And we have a lot of depth pieces this year, so we are prepared if a few of these guys go down or Sam Cosme's not ready. So, I feel good about the depth that we have. I feel good that the O-line is built up and ready to go this year, that we drafted Connolly, we traded for Tunsil, so we just got to rely on nobody getting injured, but if they do, it's not the end of the world. Like, we have guys like Wiley. We have guys like Chris Paul that can kind of swing around a lot. Ben Standig said, no alarm sounded, but Dan Quinn expressed a tick more concern when asked about injuries from Marcus Mariota. Now, what Ben Standing is referring to here is when we had the joint practice last week with the Patriots, Dan Quinn didn't seem worried at all about the injuries. He said, don't be concerned about these. They're only slight injuries. Ben Standig said he's, a tick more worried about the injuries. And it's for Marcus Mariota. He said he's getting closer, but he's not there yet on Mariota. With Coleman and Cosme out, Quinn said there is concern with developing chemistry. Still time to work. Obviously, Coleman and Cosme, Coleman's going to be your new left guard. He's going to kick inside. We all would have loved to see him at the joint practice against the Patriots last week, but, that just didn't happen. And Cosme's been out. He was supposed to be your right guard. It's still on the table for him to play week 1, Dan Quinn said, but it's not likely. When you get your ACL torn in January, you're not going to come back in September and be full ready to go, especially if it's an offensive lineman when you have bigger lower extremities. Pause. But I understand where there's concern about the chemistry because you slide Coleman into guard and it's his second year. He hasn't played a lot, and Cosme coming off an injury. So, Ben Standig asked Dan Quinn about adding a linebacker, Duke Riley, who they added yesterday, but sticking with the wide receiver group. He said on the linebackers, we just thought it was time. We felt like we needed another player. Reasonable. He said on the wide receiver, always looking to improve, but we do like what we're seeing. But you have to push it. If there was no Terry McLaurin concern, if there was no worries about Terry and he was in the building practicing every day, they wouldn't be worried about the 6th wide receiver. We wouldn't be talking about the 6th wide receiver every day because we wouldn't care. Do we do that any other year? No. So, listen, you have to take this with a grain of salt. It's just there's no Terry, so we're focused more on the 6th position at the wide receiver room. Dan Quinn said, they've improved it more over the last few days. We don't need to add more. Like, they got Tay Martin, like they got Braylon Sanders. That's enough for right now, unless you want to go all in and say, okay, we need another guy to go over the top. We need another guy to catch the football. We need another proven guy. Let's go get Amari Cooper. Let's go get Gabe Davis. One of those guys. So yeah. And then as far as the linebacker, like, it's a veteran linebacker. I really do respect him. He's 31 years old. Duke Riley can get it done. He's going to get seasoned by Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner. David Harrison there was a fun moment at practice. The crowd started chanting Jaden Daniels, and then Deebo Samuel got into the act, ensuring the QB heard all the love. You'll see that clip on the screen. I don't know if it's probably already passed, but yeah, it definitely is already passed. Sorry. But you saw that clip on the screen of Deebo clapping and stuff. So let me get you to the post-practice press conferences. Like I said, there was no play-by-play today. They didn't do anything. Well, guys, I've waited about another hour, and I don't have any updates on the press conferences, so I don't think the media team is posting them today or doing anything with them today. So Madrano and Lane, that's going to have to hold off. I'll see if I can get any news on that. If I find anything out on that, I will let you guys know about that tomorrow. So with that being said, we're going to finish this off with a few players I'll be looking for tomorrow in the Burgundy and Gold inter-squad scrimmage that takes place tomorrow. I assume they're going to be in full pads. I assume they're going to be in full go. So with that being said, I'd love to see Josh Connolly continue to do what he did Friday night. Stay in front of guys, be physical, look good. I want to see the younger guys do well. Trey Amos, obviously. K. Madrano, make a few plays. Maybe get a pick, right? Jalen Lane, return some punts, okay? And just look good, look fast as a wide receiver. Use him in ways that you might not use them in the regular season. Challenge guys. Use Deebo. Try to get him some big reps, right? This is not going to be broadcast in any way. I don't think they're going to go live for this at all on the Commanders YouTube channel or anything like that. So I'm just previewing this as a way for you guys. When I come back tomorrow to recap this, we can kind of see what I was right and what I was wrong about. So it was a really good day of practice today. The team probably got some good stretching in, but I saw Mikey was coming over. Like, they split into two sides with the practice jerseys that they were wearing, and Mikey came over to the other team's side, and they kicked him out. So it's gonna be competitive tomorrow. Obviously I'm looking for Mikey as well, looking for Quan, looking for all the whole team. So right, it's gonna be a fun one. I'm not sure. I know they used to do Friday night football. I'm not sure if it's gonna be something like that. I don't think it's gonna be as big as that, but it should still be a good learning test for the team. Should get them better and ready for Monday Night Football. One of the reasons they're doing this is because obviously, what took place Friday night, they feel like the team needs more experience, right? Needs more competitiveness in days where they're not having actual. On days that they're not. On days that they off or whatever. Like, they need more competitive days in practice. Sorry, I was having like a blank there. They need more competitive days. When they're not, it's not a game week. Like, you still need to be locked in. You still need to be ready. That's what I meant. So, that's what they're doing tomorrow. That's why they're going to have it. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll try to see if they're going to run the Madrano and Lane press conferences, but it's been about 2 hours after practice has concluded, something like that. So, we'll see. I'll get the news up to y'all if anything comes out, but that's going to do it for me right now. You guys have a good rest of your day. Hail to the Washington Commanders. As always, see you in the next one. Have a good night.